Hello everyone. Welcome to this tutorial on Python Basics. Today we're going to deal with logical and looping constructs. So what we're going to do in this tutorial is we are going to understand the logical operators and logical expressions and how do they evaluate to some true or false value. Our basic agenda is going to be different types of logical operators, making logical expressions to compare two values, and combining two or more logical expressions. So first of all, I would like to list how many types of logical operators there are, which we can use for different sorts of operations. So I'll go to my command prompt, and let's see, I just created a tuple for the same. Now let me walk you one by one with each operator. First operator is greater than. Before I go ahead with the logical operators, let me clearly define what a logical operator exactly does. A logical operator is the same like a mathematical operator. However, it establishes a logical relation between the operands it has given. So for example, if you are given two operands over here, like 45 and 67, then it establishes a greater than relationship between them. That means if 45 is greater than 67, however, this statement is not true. Therefore, it will result to a false value. There is also the logical operator called less than, which here is depicted as well. 67 is less than 89, therefore the value of this logical operation is true. Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Not equal to is equal to. Okay, so these are the 6 types of logical operators you will frequently use across the programs you will ever create in Python. Moreover, there will be some relationships as well. The first one widely used is the AND relation. The second one is OR relation, and the third one is NOT relation. So what we are exactly trying to do over here is, we will take the logic operators and these expressions and try to make complex expressions to result into some true or false. Why do we need these logical operators and these expressions is the main question as well. In our programming, we often have to make decisions. In our daily life as well, we have to have many decisions. For example, we have to turn left or right. We have to catch this train or that train. We have to do this work or first of all that work. So there are lots of decisions which we need to make in real life as well. Even in the program, this is the same scenario. In many cases, you have to evaluate the input and make a specific decision. For example, if we got a prize, is it going to result into some profit or loss? So I just introduced you with the logical operators. Now let's jump up and try to compare two values in different fashion. And let's see what happens. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to start the Python interpreter. Let's take a very simple expression. 34 is greater than 57. It results to false, which is obvious. Let's try to do the inverse, and it results to true. Now we can see that in the first case, we applied a greater than logical operator and to two operands 34 and 57. 34 was less than 57, therefore the result was false. In the second scenario, we had the less than operator, and since the condition evaluated a true, therefore it returned a true because 43 is obviously less than 57. Let's try to come up with something else. Greater than or equal to. This obviously results to false. Now let's try to do it this way. What will happen if I try to compare 44 with 44 with the greater than operator? It returns false because obviously 44 is not greater than 44. It is neither less than, it is actually equal to. So if I just apply the greater than equal to operator over here, it gives us true. Same goes with the less than or equal to operator. It also returns true. But if I try like this, that is also a false. Okay, now let's proceed to the is equal to operator. That's fairly reasonable because 44 is equal to 44. Therefore, the is equal to operator worked out well. Now let's try out the not equal to operator. Since both 44 and 44, both left and right operands, are equal, therefore, it returned with a value false when applied the not equal to operator. Now let's see if we can try something else. Since 121 is not equal to 32, therefore, this expression resulted into a true value. Now let's try to do something else. Let's take a string. These operators also works on string operands as well. Since Yoda learning was not equal to Yoda, therefore, we got a false value over here. Let's try to change the operator over here. Now, this expression seems to be true. Therefore, we got the value true. In the same case, if it is this expression, it also returns to true. But that was about is equal to and not equal to operator. Can it compare regular strings as well using other operators? Let's try to see. So it returned me a false value when I tried to compare A with B. Now if I inverse this sign, it returns true. Since A comes before B, therefore B is considered greater than A in this scenario based on their values. So obviously we can compare two strings as well. Now let's do something like this. This value turns out to be true, but how? So the comparison was made per character. The A was compared first of all, which was equal, so there were no changes made. Now B was also equal, but C was less than D. Since C comes before D, therefore the ABC is actually less than ABD, and this comparison is made on the basis of the placement of the characters in the alphabet series. I think this is enough with logical operations, and we pretty much understand how this works out. Now let's add some relationships and make some more complicated expressions. For example, let's try the AND op. Now you can see that there I have put a keyword called AND between two logical expressions. The first expression, Yoda equals Yoda learning, is false. However, the second expression, 123 greater than 34, is true. But in case of and if we have two expressions, both need to be true. Otherwise, the resultant will not be true. So let's see. Let's take the same expression and make both expressions true. In this case, it is true. Now let's check out the OR operation. Now, what actually happens in the case of OR expression is either of the expression has to be true. So in this case, both expressions are true. But let's try to make one of the expressions true. Let's make one of the instruction false. Even then, it returns true. However, one of the expression is false. So what OR actually does is it takes two expressions, and if either of them is true or both are true, only then OR results a true value. Otherwise, it will result a false value. Now let's do something else. Let's try the NOT operator. NOT operator actually takes only of logical expressions and gives it a true-false value by inverting the result of that logical expression. For example, let's take 45.67 less than 67. It's fairly true as it seems apparently, but let's apply the NOT operator. Now it is false because the resultant value was true. However, the NOT operator entirely inverted it. Okay, let's try to use this NOT operator along with this AND operator. So I do something like that. So as you can see over here, Yoda is not equal to Yoda learning, so this statement is actually false. But the not operator along with it makes it true. Therefore, the first expression turns out to be true. The second expression is anyway true as a parent. So both expressions are true, therefore, and operator resulted into a true result. So this was all about we can fairly catch up for the logical operators and logical expressions. I think it should be enough that we have tried to combine two logical expressions. And for the sake of simplicity, we are not going to deal with complex logical expressions for the time being. We will meet them and encounter them later in other units. Now, in our next tutorial, we are going to take these logical expressions and make decisions using if-else clauses, because the sole purpose of understanding these expressions is to make decisions. I hope you learned a lot from this tutorial. And what you have got to do is go to the website and different documentation web-based websites which contains the documentation of Python or examples, and try to find different logical expressions and try them out on your own. This will help you enhance your skill on this, and obviously we are going to cover lots more in the next tutorial. Thank you.